It's definitely something I've never dealt with. Even the doctors are a little, surprised about it a little bit, but we're all working together to figure this thing out.
I mean, everybody's trying to win at this point in the season. Everybody's trying to move up. Every game matters as it has all year long.
Damian Lee, he called me and he was just like, bro, I'm sorry, this and that. And I was so confused. And he's like, you got traded for KD. And I was like, get out of here.
Biggest letdowns this season, Eastern Conference. With the NBA playoffs right around the corner, teams have made it to the point they have some idea how far they can go in this year's postseason. At the top out east, you have the regular names like the Bucks, Sixers, and Celtics, who year after year find themselves in these positions and understand they have a shot at contending once again, in hopes this can finally be the year a shot bounces their way, a call goes in their favor, or their star player finally reached the point they have what it takes to go all the way. Then you look down further and see some names you didn't expect to be as low as they are, with all the talent they have, or moves made that won't benefit them for seasons to come. The Eastern Conference has been known to be inferior to the West for most the last 20 plus years, with a 15-8 winning record between conferences since 2000. In the last 5 years, it's been 3-2, with teams like the Celtics and Sixers led by their stars looking to finally rise to their potential and make something happen. The Celtics' Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown have championship written all over them, with the experience they have working with each other since the beginning, and a team around them who've also been a part of their rebuild into one of the best teams in the league. Milwaukee, just a few years ago, were crowned champions behind their generational talent Giannis Antetokounmpo and sit atop the conference this year with a healthy roster away from another deep and possibly winning run. The Sixers hope the pairing of two of the best at their positions in James Harden and Joel Embiid can come together and finally escape being just very good individual talents that leave heartbroken this time of year to bring a chip back to the city of brotherly love, last winning it all in 1983. Excluding the top three, it's all up in the air who can create some magic or have the chips fall in place to represent the Eastern Conference in the 2023 NBA Finals. One thing can just be about guaranteed is the following three teams most likely won't be making a deep playoff run this year, when to begin the season they had the potential to do so. Teams like the Miami Heat, who went to the finals in 2020 and the conference finals last year, or the Bulls, who have two of the best wings in the game, both all-stars last season, that should be capable of being better than 10th in the East as of right now. Or what about the Brooklyn Nets, a team that's been the biggest disaster the last 5 years, who made moves mid-season that guarantees even with a playoff placement are almost locks to have another early exit into rebuild mode once again. In my opinion, these three teams have been the biggest letdowns out east this season, and here's why. Let's talk about it. It's your boy JC Stunted Growth. Let's get it. Take a minute to like, subscribe, and comment on who I should do next. Team number 1, the Brooklyn Nets. To me, the Brooklyn Nets are the most disappointing team arguably in the entire NBA over the last 5 years. The Nets are one of the 11 teams that have never won an NBA championship. That was supposed to have changed the year they went out and signed two of the best players in the entire NBA and at their positions in Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving, the summer of 2019. They were swept in the first round, lost a Game 7 to the eventual champion Milwaukee Bucks, swept in the first round again with Durant and Irving in the lineup last season, and this season, although the standings say they're 6th in the conference, most likely lose in the first round again. If I told you during that span the Nets have had 6 former All-Stars on their roster, 2 league MVPs, and 2 top 75 players of all time, you'd think a feature like this is not where the Nets should find themselves. In 2023, after the summer trade requests of Kevin Durant and the mid-season requests of Kyrie Irving, the Nets fell from 4th in the conference to 6th and would have been lower had it not been for the surprising play of Mikal Bridges and a plethora of disappointing teams behind them. Coming into the season, they fired their head coach early, but still had their 2 all-star leaders finally healthy enough to play a full season together, and another former all-star in Ben Simmons over his mental hurdles to suit up and help his team. His play still has yet to reach the levels expected. But then Irving and Durant were both traded during the season in 2023 after wanting out because the front office didn't offer Irving a max deal, in my opinion. In return, the Nets got Mikal Bridges and Spencer Dinwiddie as players, basically robbed for 2 of the best of all time. Not only have they disappointed this season, but have to go down as the biggest disappointments of the last 5 to 10 years. Ben Simmons hasn't played since the trade and has had 2 20-point games all season, most under 10 points. Going forward, I can't see the Nets being a playoff team after this season for a long time. They went from the Eastern Conference favorites beginning the season to guaranteed first-round exits, no stars, and another disappointing year. Team number 2, the Chicago Bulls. The Bulls are now the 10th seed out east, fighting for a play-in spot to most likely be outed in the first round by one of the top teams in the conference. They have 2 all-star caliber players in DeRozan and Levine leading the team, and were supposed to round that off with the addition of Lonzo Ball, who by now should be an all-star and one of the best point guards in the game based on the hype he's had as the number 2 pick in 2017 and his talents as a passer. With those 2 high flyers next to him and former all-star Nikola Vucevic, the Bulls should be no less than the 4th best team in the East with a chance of winning the conference. Instead, Ball hasn't played all season and struggled with injuries going back to his first NBA season. The way things are looking, Lonzo Ball may never reach his full potential. At 33 years old now, DeMar DeRozan may have just entered the first year after his prime, averaging 3 points less than he did last season, worse 3-point percentage, and less rebounds and more minutes per game. Since his time in Toronto, I never believed in DeRozan as the number 1 guy for more than just the numbers he puts up. Intangibly, I don't think he's that guy when it all matters. Sure, he'll have some regular season plays that excite, but when it comes time to lead his team deep into the playoffs, he's always fallen short. The Bulls finished 6th in the East last year and were beaten 4-1 in the playoffs. This season should have seen them compete for the conference title, yet they're 10th in the standings. They don't have a true leader with a dog mentality, and they also don't have a deep bench. After the 3 former All-Stars, Patrick Williams averages 10 points a game and Patrick Beverley 9 points a game. Kobe White hasn't made the jump expected, and again, Lonzo Ball hasn't been there to build with his team. They almost certainly exit in the play-in or swept in the first round. Team number 3, the Miami Heat. In 2022, the Miami Heat went to the conference finals after being the best team in the East, winning 53 games and achieving a number 1 seed. They lost a close series to the Celtics in 7 games, knocking on the doorstep of where they were in 2020, going to the NBA Finals. This season, the Heat were supposed to be contenders for one of the best teams in the league, period. With Milwaukee, Philly, and Boston, the Heat should be right up there battling it out for a chance to represent the conference. They have a star in Jimmy Butler, who I honestly never believed in as a number 1 guy. Adebayo, who improved every year and was an all-star in 2023, that by now should be one of the best players in the game and a game changer, but year after year hasn't made the jump during the postseason. Kyle Lowry was supposed to come in and bring championship stability, but has looked years past his prime this season. Without a sure number 1 guy, Hero, and Adebayo playing 2nd and 3rd, and a stable Lowry, the Heat should be better than they have been. Their 3-point shooting has dropped considerably over the last year, from 3rd best last season to one of the worst this year, 27th out of 30 teams. They have a great chance of certainly missing a deep playoff run this year. All in all, anything can happen for these 3 teams. They all have a chance at the postseason this year in some capacity, but for these reasons, I don't expect much to come from them being the 3 most disappointing teams up to this point out east. Good luck, can't wait to see it all go down. It's your boy JC Stunted Growth, and I'm out.